Well, hello there, and welcome to the bathroom of the dollhouse for another reading from The Secret Language of Birthdays by Gary Goldschneider and Joost Elfers for September 16th, the day of spirited energies. And here at the top of the page is a visual representation, if you like, of the day of spirited energies. We have us a picture of a wing, I guess, with three circles kind of oriented in a triangle shape, and the wing is mounted to a surface of some kind. I don't know, I went looking this thing up as best I could, and the closest thing I could find was the delta wing, and it looked nothing like that. So, but it's not important what the visual representational image is most of the time. It's just there to give a little bit of, I don't know, a little bit of a flourish, if you like. But anyway, what is important is it's September 16th. And so is it your birthday today? Well, if it is, I just want to say to you, happy birthday. That's what's important here. Wishing you a happy birthday. And if this video finds you long or perhaps shortly after your birthday has already come and gone, hope you had a happy birthday. That's right. I hope you had a happy birthday. Now, for everyone else who's just joining us, perhaps randomly or more ideally, to celebrate the September 16th birthday, I just want to say hello and welcome, and I hope you enjoy yourself. Now, before we dive in with the birthday redirect, I like to roll some dice. That's what we do around here. This is the DykASSt A Birthday Cast, so we got to live up to the namesake, but more importantly, we do it for synchronicity's sake. That's right. We rolled us a 4 and a 2 for a 6. That's right. A 4 and a 2 for a 6. Now, what is synchronicity? Some of you may be wondering. Well, it's just you getting out into the world and letting the universe show you it's with you on your path. And you do that by looking for these numbers. That's right. And when you spy them, well, you chase after them with vigor and zeal. That's right. It might be, I like to use this example quite a bit. It might be the number 6 bus, and it's just stopping right next to you. So you jump on it. Of course, that's your number. Or maybe it's a 4 or 2, who's to say. But you get on there and you ride it, and then you see the number 4 stop, let's say. So then you get off on that, right? And then maybe you're not seeing any signs after that for a while. That's okay. Maybe it just takes a little time. That's right. And maybe you get back on the bus, the number 4, and it starts taking you back where you were supposed to go. Well, you know what? It might seem like you're backtracking, but sometimes that's exactly what needed to happen. Because when you get off, maybe you find a store. Maybe it's on 4th Street, and it's a 24 in the address. So you stop on it. It's never a store you've never been to. And what is it? Maybe it's a taxidermist shop, and you find you a bunch of wings mounted to things. Surfaces that you can't identify. Who's to say? It could be little themes like that. And maybe that's what the visual representation is meant to mean. In any event, that's what synchronicity is in a nutshell. It's just you looking for signs and ones you agree upon with the universe there, and identifying that it's with you there. It's with you on your path. I'm getting all mumble-mouthed. In any event, let's dive in with your birthday redirect and get on with it. That's right. Your month is September, your day the 16th, your sign is 22 to 24 degrees Virgo, and your period is Virgo III specifically, and your quality and element is mutable earth. All right, September 16th, the day of spirited energies. Those born on September 16th display an indomitable spirit that does not recognize defeat or boundaries. Their desire to go beyond, to surpass what has already been done in any given area is great, yet they are patient enough to master the technical details of their craft, not being egoists or wild-eyed fame hunters. September 16th emotional energy is very strong, and it is from the heart that those born on this day express themselves. And they must beware, however, of overstepping certain boundaries which even they must stop and pause before with respect. September 16 people are not afraid to put it on the line. Their bravery and steadfastness under fire are outstanding qualities. But because they rarely back down from confrontations, they may often be at odds with authorities or powers that be in their society. Furthermore, they are by nature risk takers and must beware of succumbing to the temptations of pure thrill-seeking for its own sake. At some point, they must have to rein in their rebelliousness just a bit. It may be a mistake to cramp a September 16 person's style, and their spirit is so dynamic that it will not be suppressed. To discipline a child born on this day or attempt to break his or her spirit will not succeed, and most certainly will have bad consequences for all concerned. Rather, the understanding parents should nurture and guide this spirit to move in creative directions on its own momentum. A careful line must always be drawn between orders and advice, forcing and leading, making and allowing, testing and suggesting, etc. September 16 people are filled with a zest for life, and their competitive nature is pronounced, but their innate fairness usually rules out underhanded dealings or a win-at-all-costs attitude. And those born in this day generally have to learn how to be good team players. However, since cooperation is not their strong suit, over time, experience usually teaches them much in this regard, and thus they develop real leadership qualities. And after maturing, they may become excellent teachers, and as they are confident of their knowledge and convey it to others with great enthusiasm. However, they may have to take a greater personal interest in their students and be more sensitive to their feelings. Being carried away by dreams and fantasies can be a problem for some September 16th people, but most born on this day manifest wishes and mental conjurings in tangible results. And indeed, their drive to validate what they are doing is remarkably strong, and they tend to demand respect for their work. All right, hey, what I have to say about your birthday breakdown. I like this one. Let me tell you. Let's see, here we go. Indomitable spirit, not recognizing defeat or boundaries. So perhaps the representational image is meant to be a goose chase. Yeah, only people born on this day with the sort of tenacity it takes to track it down will figure out what it means. Maybe not, but fun to think about, right? But just do an image search if that does interest you for the day of spirited energies for a better look. And maybe you can hunt it down, figure it out. But back to the read, all right? You aren't an egoist or a fame seeker, but patient enough to master your craft, all right? And express yourself from the heart. Nor are you afraid to put things on the line, apparently, rarely backing down from confrontations, even if it gets you in trouble with the law, all right? So a certain kind of moral passion or idealism, it sounds like, though the reading claims it's more a temptation toward the thrill, all right? But I'm not so convinced, all right? Rebellious, maybe. But thrills can be sought within the bounds of authority. But your spirit is also said to be dynamic to the extent it doesn't behoove of you to suppress or cramp it. And perhaps that's why there's an issue with authority in some cases. Hence the advice for parents of September 16 children. Discussing them with horses, or kind of comparing them to the likes of horses to be tamed. I don't know who's trying to break a child's spirit in that way, but that seems a little bit weird to put in there. But hey, it's a good note, of course. They don't often talk about that kind of thing. A careful line between orders, advice, forcing, leading, and making and allowing, telling, and suggesting. That should probably be extended to everyone, shouldn't it? I like that they put that in there, but why just for you? It sounds like, what is it? It's called being respectful, all right? Treating people like human beings. Okay. What else we got here? Treating someone like a human. That's what I said. Okay, that's the point. I get, at that point, I get pretty steadfast myself if somebody's going against that. Though I don't really buck authority myself. I question and challenge it by confusing the crap out of it, usually. That's how I go about bucking authority there. In any event, it's not about me, it's about you. So let's get on with the read and dive it in with your numbers and your planets. That's right. Okay, let's get into it. Those born on the 16th of the month are ruled by the number 7, as 1 plus 6 equals 7, if you didn't know. And by the planet Neptune, the watery planet of dreams and fantasy. And those ruled by the number 7 sometimes fail to carry through their ideas and can lose touch with reality easily. And since those born on September 16th have a tendency to think up all kinds of projects, emphasized by Mercury's rulership of Virgo, it says in parentheticals, they must be disciplined enough to realize their plans. And those ruled by number 7 can throw caution to the winds financially and leave their family financially embarrassed. A good accountant or bookkeeper is thus valuable to a September 16th person. All right, there's your numbers and your planets. Let's see what I had to say here. The number 7 in the dreamy planet Neptune, for that tendency to dream up all kinds of projects and a need for discipline to follow through and keep in touch with reality. All right, right there with you, okay? Don't think I'm condescending in that regard. The number of projects on my docket is so overwhelming, it's often hard to get started because I have to spend so much of my time running through the list and trying to figure out which one to work on. But as to the warning about your finances, they don't mention that very often, so perhaps take mine. Now, let's see here. I also had to add in here because I forgot that I carried on to the next page with your breakdown. But mind you, your dreams, apparently, for some reason, all right? I don't know why. If you tend to manifest them into tangible realities especially, why are they warning about that? But it seems more to me you should further embrace your dreams, all right? But maybe you get carried away with such adverse extremes. Or maybe you get carried away to the adverse extreme with dreams that don't necessarily go anywhere. So maybe that's what they're warning about. And they continued as much with the numbers, so maybe it wasn't the worst thing that I forgot that carried on to the next page. But in any event, hey, let's continue on with the read and dive in with your tarot. That's right. It's one of the more eclectic of the New Age metaphysical ideologies, but it's in the book. You know, why not expand our horizons, at least see what it has to say. It's fun, right? So let's dive in with your tarot. The 16th card of the major arcana is the Tower, which in one version of the tarot deck shows both the king falling from a lightning-struck tower and the builder of this tower being killed by a blow to the head. The tower symbolizes the impermanence of not only physical structures, but also a relationship or vocations in our lives. And the positive elements of this card include overcoming catastrophe and confronting challenges. Conversely, the tower cautions against rising unjustifiably high, risking destruction at the hands of one's own invention, and particularly apropos for September 16th people, apparently, succumbing to the lure of fanciful enterprises. Boy, they're really drilling down on the dreams, aren't they? Here, let's see what I had to say about your tarot. The Tower for a reminder of impermanence in our lives with positive elements of overcoming and confronting difficulties and cautions against risking destruction and one's own invention. Again, drills down on being mindful of your projects, as one could very well bring about your downfall, right? But at least the tower was finished, right? That's glass half full, isn't it? The builder didn't cause the lightning either, did he? But that being said, even though the tower was finished, it was still destroyed, all right? So maybe don't place too much mental energy into any given project's importance. You never know what's going to happen. I mean, inevitably it's going to fade away. Even rock isn't permanent. That being said, if you can, distance yourself a little bit, maybe you can keep yourself mentally healthy. That's right. That's kind of what I was getting at with all of that. So let's dive in with your health, now that we've talked about the mental health. Those born on September 16th must beware of accidents, particularly sports injuries, car accidents, and climbing, swimming, and flying mishaps. Recognizing limitations is an important item. Because of their expansive nature, it is most important that those born on this day remain balanced psychologically, emotionally, and spiritually. And their diets should reflect this balance and be proportionate in grains, vegetables, fruit, meat, and dairy. So everything, it sounds like. Macrobiotics, can be investigated as well as vegetarian diets. Foods which are overly yang, to say meat, and yin, which to say sugar, have to be measured. And strong sexual drives usually accompany this day. They're just getting to that? Okay. Which should be satisfied with undue excess. All right. What I have to say about your health here, although I did add in a little bit of ad-libs there. Be mindful of accidents, apparently. How you're supposed to try and control the uncontrollable, I do not know. But maybe just take precautions, I suppose, all right? But more importantly, be mindful of being mindful, all right? Anyone's psychological well-being is paramount, but considering your dynamic spirits, perhaps even more so in your case. And we need you at the top of your rebellious game, which also means being mindful of the sensual excess too, apparently. So don't be too adventurous in the sensual side of things. All right, hey, there's been your health. Let's dive in with some advice. All right. Learn to guide your prodigious energies in the right direction. And keep goals within sight. And try to explain to those who do not understand. And don't get too far out of court. And don't get too far out or court disaster too often. Remain in touch with the more ordinary aspects of life. All right, hey. Good advice. They tend to do a really good job with the advice. And I tend to guess a couple of them, it seems like. Just my pragmatic approach, I suppose. But what do I have to say? I had to write it in the book because I wrote too much. Ostensibly with the breakdown, carrying over on the page. Prodigious energies. Keep them on target and properly fueled is what I say, all right? And be pragmatic about them. And direct your time and focus toward what's most important. Work on the others as a hobby, maybe, right? In passing, something to do in your downtime when you can't stand the other one. Prioritizing might get more of them done. Might. I just underline that. I'm just kind of throwing out a suggestion what to do. I'm hardly the person to ask for advice about getting projects done because I got so many myself. But in any event, hey, that's been your advice. So let's take the energy down just a hair and move on to your meditation. That's right. Your meditation. A dragon does not always have to be slain. It can sometimes be befriended. All right, hey, one more time. Let's do it. A dragon does not always have to be slain. It can sometimes be befriended. All right, that's your meditation. I don't need to break it down for you further. It's your birthday. I would just throw some spin on it. That probably wouldn't be helpful. All right, hey, let's dive in with those born on this day. And with that being said, actually, I'm getting ahead of myself. Your strengths and your weaknesses. We can't forget your strengths and weaknesses. All right, let's get them. Your strengths. You're big-hearted, you're courageous, and you're honest. And your weaknesses. Are you ready? Deep breath now. Your weaknesses. Sensationalist, rebellious, and destructive. I listed rebelliousness in the positive category. Well, maybe it's going to get you into some accidents that you're supposed to avoid. Who's to say? All right, those have been your strengths and your weaknesses. Now let's dive in with those born on this day. And with that, I like to examine something that I find particularly important. At least take the opportunity to put it in that context. And that would be one of a person's passions. That's right. Because when I get out in the world and meet folks and ask them what they do, and more importantly, if they like it, they oftentimes do not. And who can blame them? In this life, at times we barely have time to put in the work that's necessary to figure out your passions. Because a lot of times they're not apparent. Or the things you like to do, you can't figure out how to make money on them. That being said, maybe we can derive some inspiration from those who share your company, who's also born on this day with you, and see what lottery you drew, right? It's always interesting to see who else shares your birthday. But that being said, let's look at it from the perspective of what these folks did to get put in the book and get on the map, and maybe you can draw some inspiration if you find yourself also questioning what your passion is. All right, let's get into it. We've got Henry V, the British king, and defeated the French at Agincourt and immortalized in Shakespeare's play. We also have Hildegard von Bingen, was a medieval saint, composer, physician, and a metaphysician. We also have B.B. King, the blues guitarist, singer, and songwriter. Nathan Meyer Rothschild was of the financier family's London branch, founder, and he bankrolled the Victorian Empire. What else we got here? Albert Sense Georgi was a Hungarian-American Nobel Prize-winning biochemist, and he worked on vitamin C. And I know I pronounced that wrong, so let's do a little butchering, because it's not done in malice. Hooked on phonics just didn't work for me with the Hungarian there. We also have Nadia Boulanger, a French composition teacher, composer, and a conductor. We have Lauren Bacall, who's a film actress, marriage career with Humphrey Bogart, and Dennis Conner, a yachtsman, a U.S. three-time America's Cup-winning captain. It's a lot of C's in there. We got Peter Falk, film, TV actor of Columbo fame. Elgin Baylor, Lakers basketball forward, an innovator, it says, of who's to say. 10-time All-NBA first team. David Copperfield, the world premiere illusionist, and he made the Statue of Liberty disappear, it says. Let's see. J.C. Penney, the entrepreneur and department store chain. I guess that was an actual person. I didn't know that. Karen Horney, Horney, psychologist, psychoanalyst, and a writer of Neuroses and Human Growth. We also have John Knowles, the novelist of The Private Life of Axie Reed. We also have Alexander Medved, a Ukrainian wrestler and a three-time Olympic gold medalist. Ard Schneck was a Dutch speed skater. 3 gold medals in 1 Olympics. We have Charlie Bird, jazz guitarist. A lot of musicians today. Orel Hershiser was a Los Angeles Dodgers Cy Young award-winning pitcher. We also have John Gay, the British writer of The Beggars opera. We also have Oscar Lafontaine, German social democrat, leader writer of The Society of the Future, and was attacked and injured, it says. And that has been those born on this day. All right. Hey, and with that, that brings us to rounding out your birthday read, except to say your season is summer. Your sign, once again, is Virgo, of the Virgo III period specifically. And your quality and element is mutable earth. All right. And that has been September 16th, the day of spirited energies, from The Secret Language of Birthdays by Gary Goldschneider and Joost Elfers. I have a link for this book down in the description if you're interested in diving in for yourself and finding out all the other information that's in here. It also makes a great addition to grace your coffee table, or to pull out when you have some parties and you're going to get that ice broken and get to know folks. You're going to get the conversation started, for better or for worse, but it's going to get the conversation flowing. That's right. That being said, I just want to once again say happy birthday. That's right. That's why we're here, to wish you a happy birthday. And for everyone else who joined us, I just want to say thanks for joining us. Hope you enjoyed yourself, and hope you come back for your birthday reading. And before we forget, your daily numbers. That's right. A 4 and a 2 for a 6. Get out there. Let the universe show you it's with you on your path. All right. Take care of yourselves.